I can't believe how this D1 Pro from XTOOL just set the bar higher on these blue laser diodes. It's unbelievable. A couple weeks ago, XTOOL contacted me to see if I wanted to try one of their new D1 Pro 20 watt versions, and of course I said yes. I'm just amazed how fast this technology is moving. And they sent me out one, and here it is, just kind of opening up the package. And you can see how well it's packaged. It comes with one box here with all kinds of project materials to get you going. That was pretty amazing. I mean, you got stuff to get started right off the bat. And in the other box, they had packaged up a beautiful manual and a kind of a troubleshooting guide. So there's an assembly manual and a get going troubleshooting type guide to help you get going. And this is absolutely the best manual I've ever seen. Just anybody could put this together with this manual. Let's just pull some more stuff out of the box here. And again, everything is really well packaged. Survived the trip, you can see, with no damage. And that's the heart of it. That's a new 20 watt laser. That actually is 4 5-watt laser diodes combined into one beam. It's just amazing what this thing can do. Stick around and I'll show you. But there it is, all built-in air assist. And it also has a secondary focusing there that lets you focus to the center of the material that you're cutting, which is really, a big help with these. And then another box in there, and you can just see how well everything is packaged. This one contains a little plastic case with everything you need to put it together. Comes with all the tools, all the hardware, everything pretty much. Really in a nice little case here, and also a pair of laser safety glasses. Now they look like some nice glasses, but I guess I just don't trust them when I use the ones that I purchased that I know are the OD6 ones. But these, definitely they look like nice glasses, but again, they're green, so I'm not going to trust them. Now the entire assembly is, the parts are packaged in very few parts to put together here. I'll just pull them out of the box. I'm not going to do a complete assembly because there's just so many videos out there about putting this together already. And you can see it even comes with some lube for the shafts, all the cables you need. And here's the another side there. Everything's pretty much pre-assembled, ready to go. And this here is the front with the control board there. And then you've got the X-axis there, and all cabled up, ready to plug in, and just cut the tie wraps, put it together, and ready to go. And then there's the back of the unit with the that drive shaft that connects the two sides for the Y drive. And as you can see, everything is in perfect shape and really packaged well. Oh yeah, don't forget that power cord. So there it is. That's what came in the box. There's some instructions there, and there's also a way to contact them if you should have any problems. So, everything's right there. Real simple to put together. And the instruction manual and get going manual are really excellent. And this laser, I can't wait to see what it does. And they do give you an extra, it looks like an extra lens, but I'm not quite sure, what that is. And you can get a real nice little screwdriver with a flip over blade from Phillips to the hex drive for the 4mm screws. And then the material kit actually contains some glass ornaments, some different materials to use. And there's a rubber stamp pad making kit included with it. You can see that has that. The rubber pad and the inking pad and the block mounted on. So, you're all ready to get going once you pick up one of these. So I'm just going to spend about 1 minute showing you the assembly because you really don't need my instructions when you look at that book and, follow it through. And about the biggest trick is making sure that you get that switch aligned on that side piece there. That one there is the most critical one. And, the screws will all pull it together, and they actually pull it nice and square when you tighten them. So I just put all the parts together loosely, the front, back, and two sides, and then I went back and tightened them up and squared it up. And then the other thing you have to do is there's a little shaft that ties the two drives together, and it slips right in the bearing on one side, and the coupling goes on the motor on the other side. And then a couple cables, and they do give you all the tie wraps and everything that you need to get them tied back out of place. And the screws, you can see they're all marked with different color. I think it's like Loctite on them, but they're, everything's really easy to identify, and lines up perfect. Absolutely zero trouble assembling it, and everything is extremely high quality from what I can see. The cabling, protection and stuff like that. So with this assembly book here, you can put it together. I think anybody could. Now the laser itself mounts in. It's much bigger laser than the 10 watt. I'll show you that in a second. But it also has a neat feature on it that allows you to drop the focus point to the center of a piece that you're cutting. You can see it gives you the thickness of the parts, and it explained good in the manual how that works. So then you just plug in a couple cables, and I downloaded the XTOOL Creative Space. This is a different piece of software than what they require for the D1, plain D1. And first thing it does is it asks you it finds a laser, and then it asks you to upgrade the software firmware. And I tried it once, it didn't do it, and then I did it again and it went perfect. So might have just been something in my network. And then they do give you a blank little SD card to put in it there, and that kind of holds everything in memory when you download it from the computer. And you're ready to go. I'm just doing the framing on it just to make sure everything's moving right and controlled by the computer. And I'll show you this other air pump that they gave me. They have a new air assist pump, and that also came with excellent instructions, and all the parts really well packaged, so you can find them and not have little parts laying around or little bags of parts. They just do an excellent job on, packaging, and just out-of-box experience is outrageous with these things. They do cost a little bit more, but, you get what you pay for. So there's an extra nozzle with it. Then there's also an extra plastic shield there for the 10 watt laser that I'm going to be modifying on mine soon. And this one does have a 110 volt plug on it, which I'm happy about. No more power converter between it. You don't need that extra box running there. And the nice little package. It's got really soft, spongy feet on it, so I'm sure it's going to be quiet. Let's plug it in, turn it on, and it's got a decent airflow, but it's definitely about half as loud as any of the other air pumps that I've tried. And you can see it's provisions to just plug it right into this new D1 Pro, and you're ready to go. Now, if you have an older laser you want to use this pump on, it does come with the adapter and the nozzle and everything else for the D1 10 watt. And you can see I had originally used a needle for mine, but there you can get an idea of the difference in size, and it's about twice as big and twice as heavy. And there's my old one I converted to use this new setup here, so that should make a big difference. And they give you everything, including the little bracket there, and even longer screws you need to mount that bracket. So, this kit is pretty much good for either way you go. And I can dump that old piece. Now, I can't use these in the house without ventilation, or my wife will throw me out, she said. So I pulled over the old D1, and I kind of held this up to it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the same size, exact same size. So I pulled the old one out, and I was able to just slip this one right in place and do a quick swap on it. And I actually avoided the warranty here, drilling and tapping some holes to mount it, but you can see it was just a perfect swap. So you don't have to worry if you have an older D1 and you have an enclosure. This will fit right in it, no problem. And I put the air pump on the top there, drilled the hole, and mounted the switch there so everything is easy to access. And I wound up using my other cable chain. I couldn't get that second cable to reach, so I had to leave that out of the chain, but still work good, and you know, I've got my cable management. And this honeycomb that I have is a little bit small for it too, but you know, that's one of the Ortor ones. So I'm going to start by using one of the projects that they've got in their Creative Space software. And pretty much you load the project in, and then you just send it to the laser. And once it's at the laser, you can do your framing and get everything lined up just by you know, hitting the button on the unit itself. And then you go back and you do a run, and it won't start until you hit the button on the laser. So and this is one of their projects. I did have the plywood, and that time there, that 25 minutes, actually it took 9 minutes less than that. So the time isn't always accurate. But that Creative Space is actually in a beta version yet. So, you know, there's still some improvements to be done to it. But it works wonderfully. It's the best software you'll get with a laser. You know, unless you go and buy Lightburn, but this actually comes with it. And you can see just how beautiful this thing cut. That was my first cut. This was 2.7 millimeter thick plywood. This is a birch plywood. And just look how clean, no burn marks, nothing, front or back. Just pretty amazing. And this was a project, you know, I didn't have to do anything. I just loaded this project and ran it. So, you know, it's got a lot of stuff included with it that can really get you going without, you know, waiting around for stuff to arrive. And there it is. I put the horse together. The only trouble is it was made for 3 millimeter plywood, and I used 2.7 millimeters. So I had to use a little bit of glue to keep it from being rocky. And then they said, okay, well, let me download another project and use the material included in the pack here. And this was just a phone holder that you could modify. And you can hear that pump there is so quiet compared to any of the other ones that I've used. It's really a joy to use. And I just put my phone on there. You can modify this and change it. I just downloaded it and cut it using this, you know, using whatever speeds and everything else, powers that they had in it. And it was very easy to do, and you can see this one using the material that came in the pack there just came out perfect. And there you have a little phone holder. Now, one other project they had in there was a rubber stamp. So of course they give you the rubber stamp pad, so I figured I'm going to try that one. And for some reason this one ran 2 passes, but still came out nice. And it's just a thick rubber material there. Didn't cut it out though, so I have to go back and cut it out. So pretty much what I did is I stuck some double-sided tape on it and just cut around the outside. I probably should have you know, put a circle there and cut it, but I'm just trying to download and use what I find on the web. And they do have a couple hundred projects, I think, if you dig through their site. And they do give you this little stamp pad here and that little block to mount it on, and there you go. It's instant stamps. I just can't wait till my granddaughter comes over and we make some stamps for her, because she's going to really love this thing. But, you know, that's another fun project right out of the box. Came with all the materials to do it, and another successful one. Now, they do give you a couple of anodized business cards, so I took an artwork that I've had that I've made hundreds of these things, and decided to try it on the aluminum instead of wood. And I did have to tape it down because the air assist was blowing it around when I did the framing. But you can see it just came out beautiful. I can't believe how clean and clear and how it burned that all that anodize off of there. And then I'm going to try 3/4 inch pine. And to set this for 3/4 inch pine, you have to actually set the center of it up higher than this will actually go. There's a problem there where that thing hits the fan bottom before you can get it all the way to the end of the adjustment. So I just set it as high as I could and hope for the best. I doubted this thing would cut 3/4 inch pine in one pass. But here we go. I loaded up a piece and let it run, and let's see the result. I just couldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Cut all the way through except for two little spots on the top and bottom where I think that's because the beam gets narrower there, but it cut 3/4 inch pine in one pass. This is more capability than most CO2, cheap CO2 lasers have. This is just unbelievable for a little blue laser to me. I just can't comprehend how they did it. But I'm going to do another couple cuts here just to verify it's not just a one-time deal. And this is a piece of #1 pine that's very tight grained, so it's not easy to cut. And I am going extremely slow. It's at 100% power, and it's at the slow at 1 millimeter a second. So it is going slow, but let's see how this comes out here. And you do need a ventilated enclosure when you're cutting stuff like this, because I don't know if you saw it, but there is a lot of smoke. Okay, same thing. Cut 99% of the way through. It does pop out. Just a little tiny bit of hold on the top and bottom where the laser goes flat. So probably I would have been better off to do 2 passes. But look at how clean that cut is. There's no burning on the top or bottom. It's just unbelievable. The bottom of that right there, it's got some burning where the sap came out, and the center plug popped right out too. I mean, I just can't believe this. This thing is just blows me away. It's the most powerful, and the way it works and the way it went together, I think this is the best laser machine yet. So now I have a artwork that my wife and I are working on a project together. And I buy a lot of these artworks from a place called So Fancy. They sell artworks that you can buy and you can use for commercial application. You can sell and stuff like that. So they don't cost a lot, and they have a lot of different ones that are cheap and quick. So I just bought this. Was one I bought a while ago in a package, and decided to just try it. And I just loaded it in the Creative Space software, no problem whatsoever. Gave it some values and let it run. Now this here is about 8 millimeter solid wild cherry, which can be a pain to cut with staffing and stuff, but you can just see how I just can't believe how clean that cut, and the fine line, and just the grayscale on that for just being the grayscale just came out wonderful. And the chicken there is like 1/16 of an inch deep. I did have the settings a little bit high on it, but it still worked good, and it just keeps amazing me. Then I got some of this 1/2-inch birch plywood I get at Home Depot, and it's real nasty to cut. It's got glue and voids and stuff, and none of my other lasers will cut it in one pass. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try it here and just cut some letters out, and just look how clean they cut. One pass, 100% power. And I did speed it up a little bit, but again, just the quality. You can see how clean that is on the front there, and that's a pretty thick cut it's doing. Now there are a lot of other safety features and things like that in this laser that I'm not going over here. But if you look at their website, they do have that all listed. And if I had a little pointy finger, I could pop that out, but I had to get a pen to pop it out. So here it is. After playing with this for a couple of days and seeing the capabilities of it, I will tell you, you do need an enclosure and you do need a vent on it. But I'm going to say this thing just blows me away. I can't believe the quality of the cuts, the quality of the grayscales I'm getting. Just everything about it worked right out of their box. The software is beta version, so there may be a couple little bugs in it. I did have a couple tiny things trying to assign lines and stuff, but nothing I couldn't overcome. And as I said, right out of the box, you get enough projects to keep you busy, and they also have hundreds of items on their web that they sell that you can customize. And I definitely recommend that air pump to go along with it. It really did a good job, as you can see. And I'm guessing many people that buy this that are just starting out will be able to get along with just this Creative Space software. It's fairly easy to use, and it just works. No problems at all. And I am saving this RA2 for the next video because this one got a little bit long, and I've got a bunch of things that I want to do with it, and some, some tumblers and stuff like that. So, that'll be coming shortly. But pretty much, as you can see, XTOOL has raised the bar on these blue laser diodes. I don't know what they can do next, but I'm really impressed. And this is at CO2 laser, levels, and it's just amazing. And everything went together good, worked out of the box. It does cost a little bit more than the other guys, but I guess, as I said, you get what you pay for. And so far, this just has, proven that it is definitely worth the higher price. I'll put some links in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.